Hello, I'm Alex and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I chat about the things that I've been knitting and sewing this month. I'm going to have a quick sip of my tea, which is in, I don't think I've shown you this before, it's my Barton Croft mug. I hope that's focusing okay, can you see? Because it's got, there we go, it's got this really beautiful speckle. Yeah, so I'll pop my tea down. And I'm going to get straight into showing you all the bits I've got. Where should I start? Actually, I think I'll start with what I'm wearing because this is one of my finished makes and you saw it last time. It's my My's 80s dress by Deer and Doe, and yeah, I think all I had to do last time was hem the sleeves and put the pockets on because this was, I'll show you, there's my pockets. This was a modification that I did. The original dress, it has a bodice with 3 buttons and the skirt is just gathered. There's nothing, sort of no buttons down the front, but I wanted to kind of adapt it just to fit in a little bit with some of the trends that are on the high street at the moment. Well, not really to fit in with the trends, but you know, it's nice to feel that what you're making is current, and I just thought it was a really nice style. I remember last year I had a few dresses that were sort of similar to this with the buttons down the front and slightly gathered waist, but with thin straps, like sort of spaghetti straps. And yeah, I really like that look, and I thought this was just a little bit different because it's a little bit more covered up for spring. The original, I showed in my last video, the original fabric I'd bought was like a sort of coral pink, which was a lot more kind of spring summer, but it just didn't work at all. When I'd sewn it up, I really didn't think it looked right. It was a bad match with my skin tone, and the pink, it just wasn't looking right. So I actually dyed this fabric. It's a linen blend from Minerva Crafts, so because it's a blend, it's slightly less likely to crease as much as you have with linen. You can probably see it's a little bit creased, but not as, it doesn't crease as much as like 100% linen. But I actually dyed the fabric using one of those sort of dye-on capsules that you can put in your washing machine that I got from John Lewis, which is also where I got the buttons. I'll see if I can just give you a little bit of a close up. Kind of like, I don't think they're probably not in focus, but yeah, I got those in John Lewis and they're like a sort of horn style button, and yeah, I'm really pleased. I love how the pockets turned out and I like the general style of it, so I'm really happy that I went ahead and made those changes. I think I would definitely do this again. So yeah, I think I've said that it's a Deer and Doe pattern, but I'm going to put all the show notes over on my blog. So if you want any of the details about the things that I'm chatting about today, if you click the link below this video, it will take you over to all the show notes. And as I've said before, you can get the show notes to your email as well. Loads of people have been signing up for that, so it's obviously something that you like. And basically you can join my show notes mailing list, and anytime a video goes up, I'll send you an email saying that the video is live, and I'll put all the show notes there right in the email, so you can see straight away all the bits that I'm talking about, like the different yarns and the fabrics and the patterns, and I'll have links to everything there. So I'll also, some person last week mentioned in the comments that they were wondering if I'd do a tutorial or explain how I've done the modifications for the dress. So I'm not going to do a super in-depth tutorial, but I will put some notes over on the blog and just explain how I made the changes, because they were quite simple. Basically the skirt piece you usually cut on the fold, just to make the front and the back piece, and all I did was instead of cutting it on the fold, I cut them separately, and the placket, that's not the right word, it was more of a facing that you have on the top bodice part. I just extended that all the way sort of to the length of the skirt, and that was pretty much how I made it. So it had the buttons all the way through, and I'll put the dimensions of the pocket pieces, so if you want to add pockets to yours, even if you didn't want to make the changes and have the buttons all the way through and you just want to do the pockets, I think that would be quite a cute look. So I'll put some instructions over there if you're wanting to have a go and see if you can do your own hack of the My's 80s. So that's the first thing. I think that's all I've got for sewing bits today. But I have got another finished piece, which you can probably see in the background there, and this is my Hipster shawl by Hoyi Locatelli, which I was showing off last time. And this has been on the needles for a whole year because I was knitting this this time last year when I went to Croatia. I was knitting this on the plane, and it was literally a month almost to the day I was there. So yeah, I love it. It wasn't anything to do with the pattern that it took me a year. It was just that I'd put it down and didn't really feel like picking it up until the weather's really changed the last few weeks. We've had some really lovely spring days, and it just got me craving this kind of piece, and I think it's going to be really nice for the summer. It's the kind of thing that I would wear. I would sort of throw it in my bag and carry around, and then if I get chilly, I could just pop it around or wear it around my neck. I'll stand up so you can see it's super long, but I think it's got a really nice, I love these tassels. Yeah. So it's the kind of thing you could just kind of throw over, wrap around you if you're sitting outside and it's a little bit chilly. It's that kind of piece, I think. So I'm definitely going to have lots of use out of this, I'm sure, with our British summers, where that's exactly the kind of weather we have. We can be scorching, and then the temperature can totally change the next day and you just feel a bit chilly. But I'll see if I can come a little bit closer so you can see their tassels. I hope they're in focus. I think they are. And get a little bit closer up this stitch pattern. It's a really, really simple, but really, I mean, it gives quite a bold look, I think, these stitches, but it's really quite a simple knit. So it's a great for like a summer project if you're wanting something that you can sort of travel with or take while you're out and about, and you just want something that's quite mindless, because it has lots of the garter stitch. But yeah, as I say, these sections were really simple to achieve. They're quite, you need to have a lot of patience because it's one of those that's quite a long row, but it's not difficult the way you create these. So I think anybody could have a go at that. I think it gives a really nice effect. The only thing I'd say is, and I'm pretty sure it says this in the pattern, to work the stitches really loosely when you're on the rows, because then it's going to be super easy, and you really don't need to have them tight, because these, as you can see, they kind of, at first, they did look a bit, I don't know, kind of messy, but as soon as you kind of I mean, when you block it, it will be fine, but give everything a pull and a tug and get these nice and straight, and it kind of evens everything out. But yeah, you just want to keep it really loose, otherwise you're going to struggle to get your needle in when you're working these stitches. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with this. I hope you like it too. I think it's lovely in this yarn. It's the Fibre Co Luma, which is a really nice, I haven't got the tag with me, but it's like a blend of, I think it's got merino and it's got some linen and some cotton, so it's a really light sort of spring summer yarn. I've done a couple of sweaters in this as well, but it's a really, really lovely yarn, and I love it in this colourway. This is the Blanca colourway, so in the white I feel like it just goes with everything, and it's really nice, because sometimes you maybe don't want to wear, like, knitwear could look a bit funny if it's really warm. I wouldn't want to wear like a big thick kind of shawl, but kind of it seems to lighten it, having it in the white and having this sort of linen cotton blend. I think it still will look really nice in the summertime, and it won't look too weird having sort of knitwear on. So yeah, that's my main thing that I've been knitting, and I'm really, really pleased that I got that finished, because by the end of it the rows were getting so long, so it was quite nice to finally get to the end of that. But yeah, that was a great project to work on. And as I'm talking about shawls, I think, oh, you'll probably see I'm covered in fluff now. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but I've got lots of white fuzz all over me. So while we're on the subject of shawls, I'll give you a quick look at my bag. I've got the shelf of my bags. These are one of the style that I do where I actually block print. So block printing is a technique when you have like a soft cut, or traditionally you'd have lino, or you could even do it on wood, and you carve away the design and you use a roller to ink the block that you create. And then I've hand printed these, and I do them in this size and like a little tiny little drawstring that you can use for your notions, which that's one of my favourites, is the little notions pouches. So this is a great size for travelling. I've got in here at the moment my Pebble Beach shawl. I can't remember if I've shown you this. I think I do remember talking about it and saying that I was going to cast it on. I'll see if I can stretch it out. it's always a little bit tricky to see, but it's the Pebble Beach shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and you start off, you have lots of these eyelets. This is quite a dense section of the eyelet. Oh, I've gone out of focus. There we are. So I'm trying my best to be in focus because I know sometimes I've had trouble with that in the past, and it's really irritating when you're trying to watch and I keep going in and out and don't want to make people seasick. So there we go. That's a nice shot. You can see the colour really well on the screen. It's picking up really well anyway. It's the Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co for this one. And it's I want to say it's Emma's Masham and BFL base. It's a 4-ply and it's a really lovely colour. It's definitely a yarn that is like a really natural, sort of more on the rustic side, but there's no prickle or itch or roughness to it. It's like, I feel like it's a nice soft yarn. It's not obviously like an alpaca or something where it's like super sort of butter soft, but I feel like for a rustic yarn it's a really nice soft yarn, and I'm loving how this is coming out. So this will just be like a little shawlette. I'm not knitting the pattern has been updated and she has a larger size, but I'm working from the original, which was actually from, I wonder if I think it has a picture in here. Yeah, the Pebble Beach shawlette. And this was from a yarn festival that they had in Brighton years ago, when I think it was quite early on. I think it was the first fibre festival that I'd been to, and Helen designed this pattern. Does it have a date on it? Let's have a look. Yeah, 2014 that was, and Helen designed the shawl that came with your programme. So I've knit one before in Kettle Yarn Co, which is a really sort of, it's like a silk, I think it's got silk, camel, it's a really luxury, very soft, silky shawl, but I wanted something like a little bit more rustic, so I thought I'd have a go with this, and I'll give you a closer look at my yarn. Emma dyes these all with natural dyes, so that makes it even more special. She's based in Ireland, and yeah, I love her shop. She's got some beautiful yarns, and actually we did a collaboration for her anniversary, which I've talked about before, and I designed some sock sacks that went with her natural sock yarn base that I screen printed with a little design that I did sort of based off her logo. So if you're interested in those, I'll put a link, if there's any left in her shop, I'll pop a link below so you can have a look at those. But definitely check out her shop anyway if you're into those kind of like naturally dyed, really beautiful British yarns. So that's what I've got there, and shall I show you a big project or a little project? I'll go with the big one. I've got all the bag sizes today, you're going to see. I've got big sweater sack, because I've been working on my truss cardigan since I last saw you. You can see it's getting really full because my cardigan's grown. I've pieced it all together, and I've still got three and a ball of these. Again, this is another Fibre Company yarn. It's canopy worsted, which they unfortunately don't do anymore. They still have the canopy fingering, but the worsted weight has been discontinued. I think it was discontinued quite a few years ago. I had some of this a long time ago, but I originally had it for a live cardigan, which is the called for yarn, but the pattern, I haven't said, truss cardigan, that's a Melissa Well pattern for Brooklyn Tweed. So obviously the original is done in Brooklyn Tweed, so you don't have to use the exact same. But if you're looking for a similar look to the cardigan I'm knitting, it's a 50% baby alpaca, 30% merino, 20% viscose bamboo blend. So if you're looking to do something of a similar style, then you want to look for something with that kind of blend. But let's get on to showing you cardigans. So when I spoke to you last time about this, I was working on the section here where, yeah, I just finished this was basically all charted, so I'd done the chart and then I think I'd taken a break. So as you can see, I've knit the backs, the two fronts, and I've joined them at the sleeves. And let me stand up. Actually, should I try and, I could pop this, I could try and slip this on, couldn't I? So you can get a better idea of how it's coming together. In the original pattern, it's actually knit, I think the sleeves are knit flat and then joined, or they're certainly joined at the end, but I wanted to knit them from the top. So, how's that looking? There we go. So you can kind of see, and I wanted to really show you the back so you could get an idea of how it has this sort of design at the back. Yeah, so that's coming along nicely. I'm really pleased with the colour. The yarn's so soft. And yeah, as I was saying, I've basically sort of reversed the sleeve pattern. So I'm decreasing so I can finish just at the right place for my wrist, because I don't think I probably would want them quite as long as in the pattern. But that's coming along nicely. And yeah, especially now I'm on the sleeves, I feel like it will probably come together quite quickly now if I carry on working on it. Although, because the weather's been so nice, I must say I've kind of lost a little bit of motivation to work on this because my thoughts are kind of going a bit more to summer yarns and patterns. I was mentioning before about maybe doing the Tanya tee or something like that. I've been looking at some more kind of summery garments. I'm really into garment knitting at the moment. I know I've just done the shawl, but I haven't been doing so many shawls. I've got a pair of socks to show you that I've been working on, but I'm definitely feeling really inspired to do more of like the garment making, so I'm not sure what to cast on yet. I do not need any more sweaters, but I have been bookmarking a few on Ravelry, so could be a sweater, but I think I'd rather do like something like a cardigan or like a summery tee. So as I mentioned, I've got some socks, and that's in one of my spring bees bags that I've shown you. Is it focusing? And I've got my little logo on the back. And inside here is just a super simple vanilla sock. So I'll give you a look at that. I've got one of my DPN cozies. I really love these spring bees. I'm so loving these patterns. You'll notice that I haven't got so many projects in them today, but I've been swapping all my bags over so I can use my spring bees bags, because I'm really loving those at the moment. I will have a couple in the shop this weekend, so when this video goes live, I will have pushed all the new products into the shop, so you'll find a few of the spring bees bags, but I've also tried to make an effort to get the rest of the shop stocked up. So if you've been looking for any of my sort of main collection prints, I'll have drawstring bags, and I'll have the sock sacks, and I'll have sweater sacks. And yeah, I've made a bit of an effort to get the rest of the shop stocked up, because I've been concentrating so much on trying to get all the spring bees bags to you because they've been so popular that I'd sort of neglected the rest of the shop a little bit. So I've made an effort this week to kind of work on some of those pieces. So yeah, if you've been looking for any of my bags, you probably know already, but there'll be a link below. The website is Alex Collins Designs. And yeah, you'll see all my bags there. But I'll stop waffling on about that, and I'll show you what you really want to see, which is my socks. Look how beautiful that yarn is. It's a stranded dye works, and Amy, she actually has a podcast as well, so I'll pop a link to her below. But I feel like this just to me looks like a Monet painting. It is actually called Industrial Kingfisher. I think that's Industrial Kingfisher. And it's a 75% merino, 25% nylon base. And yeah, I've knit socks with her flamingo legs colourway, and yeah, they're really hard wearing socks. They're really, really good. They last and hold up, so I'm hoping that these will be the same. I've sort of been wearing them all winter in my boots, and yeah, it's a really good yarn. I don't knit a lot of things with superwash because I don't put anything in the washing machine anyway, so I don't need the washability. And I also don't knit a lot of things with nylon. I wouldn't tend to buy like a superwash merino and nylon blend and knit a shawl, say, or something like that. So, but for socks, I occasionally buy these kind of skeins, and I actually got this from the Unwind Festival that happens, that's in Farnham in Surrey, and I think they usually have that around like February, March time. So I didn't get that this year, I got it the year before, and when I was at the show I really wanted to support Amy's shop, so I was more than happy to buy a skein of this, and knew at some point I'd knit a lovely pair of socks. I feel like this kind of yarn, that's what it's great for, is sock knitting. Um, so yeah, I realised that I didn't have a really simple vanilla sock on the needle. So this week, that was one of the things. I had a little bit of travelling to do. I was going to be on the tube and going up into town, so I just wanted something easy. So the night before, I cast on the toe, got past that bit so that I could just go round and round and round when I was sitting on the train. So I'm happy to have those on the needles, and they'll probably, I'm not sure, I have been working on them a little bit in the evening actually, but they're supposed to be a little bit more like a travel project that I just carry when I'm out and about. And I think that's everything. I think I've sped through all the bits I had to show you. I don't think I've got much more to say. I mentioned to you that you can find all the show notes below, and I've mentioned to you about the shop and updating at the weekend. So when I put this out, it's going to be actually be a bank holiday weekend here in the UK, and I think pretty sure that it's a holiday weekend in America as well. So yeah, maybe you're watching this and you've got some extra time off and you're putting your feet up, doing some knitting and watching some knitting on YouTube, which is probably what I'll be doing as well. I'm sure there'll be some time to go out and do some nice things over the weekend if the weather's nice, but I'm definitely looking forward to just having quite a chilled weekend and yeah, working on some of my projects. I think I'm going to sew an Ogden cami. I've got some more linen, like a white linen that I picked up also from Minerva Crafts, that I've been meaning to sew into an Ogden cami, so I think maybe I'll have a go at that this weekend. But thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.